I'll do the recording now. Okay. Any questions that you would like to ask about your project, the group of 4 to 5? Have you started to look at it yet? And the attendance sheet that you need to fill up, I think is due by tonight, if I'm not wrong. So please go and fill it up before you go and enjoy your Christmas Eve. No, no questions. No questions on the project. You better start looking at it. Oh, 24th. Today is 24th. We've got exactly 30 days before the due date. And 30 days is not a lot of days, considering that you have to start to study for exams and you have a lot of other assignments that you need to hand in. Your FYP, your IDPs, your PCPs, okay? Is it okay if the project is a school building? I think it's fine, Nancy. It's fine because school building, you have compound, you've got landscaping, you've got water works, you've got road works, you've got drainage work within the compound of the school. Okay, so it's not only the building alone. The building alone will not be enough. It has to be the whole project, civil and structure together. Once you finish the project, everybody should keep a copy of your assignment. It's very important because you will need it for your IDP later. So if all of you come from different groups, okay, then later on, you can take all your report to compile and, get the best bit of everybody's work and then try to improve it in your IDP project. So, I mean, just really think of this project like a prelude, it's like a prelude, it's like a prelude to your IDP 2 later on for the PM part, okay? So if you get this done, then later on your IDP 2 will be a lot more at ease, okay? It's a lot more relaxing in that sense. Huh? So I hope that you guys will remember to get a copy of the full final copy from all your group members. Like when you do it together, everybody save a final copy for yourself. Remember that. Huh? And this is 25%. So if it's 25%, we really are expecting some form of details and a lot of nice formatting, pictures, figures, tables, and all that. So it is not a 10% assignment that you can hand it in like 5-page kind of thing, okay? So these are the expectations that you have from the assignments. Project lah, I mean, I always end up calling it assignment, but actually it's a project. Okay? All right, let's get started. It's 1:05 already. Okay, this is enough, people. Let me try to share my screen. Files. Okay. PMP. Okay. Part 2 of the notes. All the notes have been posted up on Elip. Last week's Tuesday face-to-face recording is also up already. It's marked as week 10, hour 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay. Okay. Let share my screen. Where's my WebEx? Share. Okay, this is my notes. Okay. Can you all see?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Let me go and get myself a glass of water, just a quick one. All right, I'm back. Okay. All right. So yesterday on Tuesday, we've actually gone through, like procurement, the idea of procurement. So procurement will start with determining the procurement method. The procurement method is very critical. You have to look at the different. It's just like how should I put it? It's just like um, finding the right mode of purchase. It's just that if you want to go and buy yourself a car, there's plenty of choices out there, isn't it? And or you want to buy a house, for example, then you need to know the characteristic of the people who are staying in the house. Am I right to say that? Some people are more particular about certain things. You see, like your family members, like who is the one paying, and do you guys have the money? Do you guys have the money for down payment? How many percentage of cash do you have for down payment? And then after that, you also need to work on how much you can repair per month, and who are the residents of the houses, and how many rooms do you need, and also the space, ceiling height, and everything. So, in a way, if you do not know your project characteristic, you cannot pick the right kind of procurement method. So different procurement method has its advantages and disadvantages. And you have to understand that procurement method has been around for like centuries. It's like people has been delivering projects since Malaysia starts, the delivery of the project, so many projects has been delivered around the world, with traditional general contracting, with design and build, with turnkey, with concessional contract. So you cannot say that any one of them is a failure. There's really no failure in any one of them. It's just the people who are using it is the problem, you see. So first and foremost, you need to determine the characteristic of the project, and then you determine the mode of procurement, which is there's different mode, and with the different mode that you have, then you will actually decide, which is the better ones. And so you need to know the advantages and disadvantages of each procurement model. So these are something that you have to learn. And I do not explicitly put it in any part of the notes about advantages and disadvantages. So I'm telling you right now, if you ever listen to the lecture and listen to the recording later, I do want you to go and research a little bit on it and write a little bit on it, because it may come out in the exam questions and you have no way to find it in the notes, you see. So, I mean, sometimes we need that, we need you all to be actively searching for something. So why don't you go and read up on the different procurement method, just the basic ones like concessional. Concessional, maybe you can read out on BOOT, B-O-O-T, BOOT, build own operate transfer. And you can read on traditional general contracting, design and build, turnkey. If you can read out on these 4 or 5, in some of them it's concessional contract or public-private initiatives. These are the few programs or public-private partnership, so PPP. So all these are typical delivery mode of a project. So why don't you go and find out about that, and just at least read up on the advantages and disadvantages and how the client and the contractor and the designers are being put together in that sense, that relationship. I think if you can do that, it's better than you reading lecture notes, and because you actually bother to go and find out, so it actually carries more weight in your heart and in your brain, so you actually can write better that way. So I hope that, for some of you who are, more proactive, please do that. I mean, you should do that. And then after that, we have different type of contracting model. Contracting model means that different type of contract. You have lump sum, you have got a BQ contract, you've got cost plus contract. That part we have a set of notes later when we talk about contract administration, so you don't worry. And then after that, we have tendering model. So the tendering procedures is the same. Actually, tendering procedures is basically the same. The tendering model is how you start the tender that is a bit different. It's like open tender, selective tendering, or closed tendering, and pre-qualification tender. So these three type of model is there's different type of way you invite people to come and make their offer. So tendering is about invitation to make an offer. You are asking people to you are inviting them to make an offer to you to do the job for you, you see, as the client. So another type of method to another type of method to get people to offer would be proposal and also negotiation. So negotiation, proposal mode, those are also quotations, very simple quotations. In a lot of engineering projects, sometimes it's a very small project, we just go by a simple quotation. A quotation will set the scope of work plus what you do and what you don't do, the payment terms and the delivery date. It can be just 2 or 3 pages and the client sign. Usually we do that for small projects of like 50K, 100K, so we don't really have a big contract to do it. So a simple quotation will do as well. So quotation is another mode. And many of these tendering, quotation, proposal, they all involve some form of negotiation at the end of the day. Okay, so once the offer are being put to the client already, the client will have their own assessment model. So meaning that they will actually assess the different contractors based on the criteria that the company has set up for themselves and for their projects, and they will go through the different weightage. Maybe some of them say money, the weightage of the contractor financial capacities is very, very important, and then we have a higher weightage. And then some people may say that I want the technical capacities, the design capacities to be very high. Then they may want to put that as a higher weightage. And sometimes some clients are very into materials, quality of material, quality of workmanship. So they will look at the team of people and the suppliers involved of supplying them with materials and the workmanship. So different client may emphasize on different things based on their company quality policy and quality requirement. And then from there, they will do the selection, and then they will first probably give out a letter of intent to tell you that they intend to give you the project. But normally after letter of intent, there may be some form of negotiation going on. So therefore, you may not get the job yet. But if they give you a letter of award, if the word is award, so as an engineer, you don't use the word award. If you write a letter and you put letter of award, it means that you are giving them a quasi-contract, meaning that it's already a 1/4 kind of contract. So after that, once you receive the letter of award, you're waiting for the site to be handed over and a formal contract to be signed. And when the formal contract and the site is handed over, you are going into the management, the controlling, and the planning, controlling, and also the monitoring phase of the site already. Okay, so what does the beginning part of site management look like? So you will normally, what you do is your clerk or you should sit down and work out with your administration team about all the paperwork and how it should be filed, how it should be written, and what format and what letterhead and all that. It has to be properly filed. And then what sort of sectioning in the files and what sort of folders that you're going to create in your in your computer hardware, I mean in the memory. So then everybody is on the same basis, and who is supposed to write which letter and who's supposed to sign on it, it's very important, because sometimes line of communication, if it's not specified out very clearly, it can lead to a lot of misunderstanding. I remember when I was a very, very young engineer, about year one after I graduated, I was in charge of a project, and I didn't realize that the letter cannot be written to the certain people. You see, so it's supposed to be I write to the main contractor, and the main contractor will forward it to they will reword it and all that, and then forward it to the client. So I accidentally forward that to the client as well, and I got a very big phone call from the main contractor, scolding me like nobody's business. I pick up my phone, and you have a loud booming voice booming down the phone, telling me that I'm an idiot, where did I graduated from, you see? So how come I don't know all these things? And I actually took in the project a bit in a midway kind of thing. So I actually was a bit of an idiot. So we all will be idiot at one stage of our life, at one stage of our career. So it's very, very common. So don't start crying and go to the toilet and start to bar out your eyes and then come out and throw in your resignation letter. It's actually very, very common. So you get very red face, and you get very teary eye, but you swallow yourself up, and you swallow your saliva up and say you're very sorry, and I'll look into it again, and I will be better next time. That's what we do, you see. So, so what we do with your project documentation is you must know your line of communication. I cannot emphasize on that enough. I'm not sure whether I actually put in here somewhere about line of communication. Probably I do, yeah. Formal communications, okay. So yeah, it's somewhere in the notes here. I do actually mention that people, human resources is very important. So the contractor also, you need to plan your work. You need to do your job file carefully. Put in where your specs are. Put in where your contract are. Put in your banker's guarantee. All these things has to be accessible, hardware and software, meaning that it has to be in a computer. It also has to be in the files, because if you lost your files, you don't want to have a master centralized file that is completely wiped out, and then you don't have a hard copy. So we do keep hard copy, and then we will put them in your side office, and then some of them will be in your main office. So you have to get that system up first, okay? So this is what I'm trying to say. And it's important. You probably spend about 1 or 2 days to get the system up, and certain letter you must CC to who, certain letter after you write, you copy, and then you must copy and fax first or email first, and then followed by the hard copy of the letter by mail, you see. So it's important. Not everything is just email, WhatsApp. So certain things you have to understand that it has to be also, the hard copy also have to go to the recipients of the letter or of the documents. And in a lot of ways, the contract actually will specify that you must have a proper receiving of documents as well, because otherwise, if there's any contractual issues later on, and you do not send that letter out, and they say they never receive it, or they never get the email, or it was being wiped out and all that, you could really have an issue with arbitration and litigation, meaning that if you go to court or go to arbitration, this can be a problem if you lost if there's no proper receiving. So even your office boy go over to the company to send the letter, you must have a book that they sign on and say that they receive it, or they will chop. You have a chop and copy on your copy of the letter, and then they sign on it with their chop to show that they receive it. So all these systems is usually, if you start a project, the company will have the system, but some projects, they have their own very specific requirement because of the very specific clients that you have. So you must have a proper systems, okay? So keep all your files carefully and put them in the places carefully, and all the forms that needs to be filled, quality form, workers card, and all these things, it has to be properly filed up in the proper system, so that if you go on leave for 2 weeks, or if you get sick for 3 days, you don't come to the office, somebody else can pick up the file, they can go through the file, and they can really understand what is going on as well. So please remember these filing systems, this systematic way of creating a job files. I cannot emphasize on it enough. Okay, so after that, you will also list down, some of you will start to work on the quantity taking. So you will say, okay, as a contractor now, you're in the job, you will take up the measurement, your ruler, and start to measure how many steel bars you need to order, how many meter cube of concrete, foam, sandstones, pile, cement, what do you need to order, pipes or whatever. So, and then you also will list down the delivery list. I mean, like you will have your schedule. Okay, so time, cost, quality has already been done. Basically, you've already also planned for it. So if there's a question to ask you about what is site management, what to manage inside, what to control inside, time, cost, quality, safety is actually very basic. So you don't write about that. Okay, so you have to write about these other things. Okay, so time, cost, quality, you've already planned out your schedule. So from that schedule, when you look at the list of material that you're supposed to buy, you really should know you shouldn't be ordering everything at one shot. So if you are going to order everything in 3 batches or 4 batches, depending on the project timeline, because if you order everything in one batch, my dear, if you order it and there is no substantial transportation cost involved, and if you're ordering everything in one batch, you're not saving on anything, okay? And unless the supplier is going to give you like a 20% discount if you order everything in one shot, and which they're not likely going to do anyway. So you've already negotiated for the rate with the suppliers. So what you need to do is you negotiate for your delivery schedule. So whatever you need, when you need it, and when latest you must have it, and where you keep it, inventory control and all that, you must have a proper system for it. So list down in your Excel worksheet, go through it, based on your work breakdown, you have your resources. From the resources, check out on the quantity and corresponds with drawings quantity and how fast you should be ordering certain things. Because the moment you order, they give you 30 days or 60 days. That means 30 days or 60 days later, you have to have enough cash to pay your supplier. So if you don't use your materials like until the very end of the project, but you've already ordered in the first 3 months of the project, the client will not pay you. The client will not pay you for the entire material on site. Some client very graciously will pay you some percentage for the material that you deliver on site, but the material that you deliver on site has not been converted to work. It has not been converted to a product. Okay, so you really cannot claim money. So it's only the work that is being done that you can claim money. So what you need to do is order it according to a good scheduling system. Okay, so do a quantity takeoff, determine the quantity of material needed, communicate with the supplier. This part of procurement is very, very important. It requires engineers to really have negotiation skills and also to talk to the suppliers and the subcontractors and all that for you to arrange your delivery and your subcontractors and all that carefully and all your labor carefully. Because any part that is not arranged carefully, you may have a slip, and when you have a slip, you have workers all waiting, machineries all waiting, but you don't have material to work on. And then everybody will start to look at you and say, what is all this about? It's that we are all here ready, but the concrete never show up, so what to pour, and then you still have to pay them for the days that they come to work, you see? So, or you can have all the materials there, but you don't have machines there, you see? So these are the things that you have to be awfully careful about, you see? That is site management, okay? So get the quantity up first and then match it with your delivery schedule. Ask for more discounts from the suppliers because of the quantity. Ask for more discount because you are ordering big batches. Ask for more discount. Ask for better supplier delivery schedule. Okay. Ask for better payment terms, meaning that, if you can drive for 90 days or 120 days, if they can give it to you, I will take it, So don't say no, you want to pay people as late as possible. That's what we want to see. And then, of course, this is about material purchases, which I mentioned just now, okay? So organize also your costing, organize also your cash flow, how much money needs to go in, how much money will come in at what time, and how much money monthly will be going out. So all these are very important. So it's based on the cost estimates that you've done previously, okay? And then after that, you move on and produce your S-curve for the client. You also produce the S-curve for your own control of your own costing. Okay, so these are part and parcel of the initial planning work that have to be organized. Then you're organizing your site, your work, your safety. You buy your safety equipment. You organize your who is supposed to be on site, which engineer, which site supervisor is in charge, which clerk is in charge, which is the line of communication, who is supposed to be communicating with the other side, who is supposed to be communicating with the engineers on the consultant side, who is supposed to be communicating with the client in the other the client side, and you should know who are the person that you are communicating with. Do they have ability to say yes or no? Do they have the ability to make decisions? Do they have the ability to change plans? Understand each other, get yourself comfortable with one another. These are part and parcel of the beginning part of the project. So then after that, you must also get all these things ready, or all your specifications, read through them, and then read through your contract properly. And if there's any specific clauses you have to be very, very watchful of, then you have to take care and do that, okay? So then what else do you control? What do you do in terms of control, okay? So when the project gets started, everything starts to come in and people start to work, okay? Day in, day out, you have to have what we call let me open the files for you. You have to have what we call a site daily record. And I cannot emphasize on site daily record ever enough, okay? Site daily record is like a book that you keep, okay, or a file that you keep. Nowadays, it can be, Google Form, something that you design that you can, use your tab or your iPad, at one shot. I mean, we're getting more and more advanced, okay? Unless you're like me, you are very okay? If you're not, then you should be very, very advanced. There's a lot of what we call tools and also software, all these things online that you can actually use. Here's my PM files. Okay, it's here. Let me open this construction management file. Oh, it's not here. Where is it? I extracted out yesterday. Yeah. Wait a minute. Where's my site daily report here? Okay. Right. So this is a Kuno. This is the Kuno method. Okay. This is ancient. So you have to have a book. So normally at the beginning of the site possession, the contractor or the client will actually either one of them will prepare this, and then you will, if you want to prepare this as a contractor, you prepare that. On the first day site possession, everybody will sign on it. So the day you put down the date, which is Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and then you will talk about, what is the event that is occurring, who is involved and all that, activities and all that. So this is something that is an example. So I don't see a reason why you can't create a Google thing, a Google form of some sort like this, and then daily you can just use your phone or your tab to update it. And then you can even attach pictures that you take, right then and there, and attach it together with your site daily report. In the old days, sorry, I feel like I'm so old when I say this, in the old days, because things does change very significantly for the past 10 years, Before that, you don't really have Facebook, you don't really have WhatsApp. I remember when I gave birth to my daughter in the hospital, my phone is still, it was 10 years ago, my phone was actually still close with the button, and then you press messages, and there's no scrolling on my phone at all, no scrolling. So I don't have FB, and I don't have WhatsApp at all. Okay. So that is how fast things has changed for the past 10 years. So previously in my working life, when I first graduated, there was 20, less than 20 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago, maybe. You really don't have, we do things like this, seriously, we do things like this, but things doesn't change, as in the content doesn't change. You're still talking about keeping the weather record, you're still keeping the rain gauge results, you still talk about who is coming to work, who is not coming to work, and what excavators and what machineries are you having on site daily, and what activities you have to write down today. The observation is you've done this. If there's any non-conformance report, you also attach in. Where is the non-conformance? Is there any visitors inside? Who is on site? And then all this has to be signed by the consultant, by the engineers who's looking after the job, and the representative from the contractor. So, there are some people who never write this thing, and the funny thing is that sometimes the contractor never write. So by the time they need to do their site monthly progress report, they will beg the consultant to, can you give me your report, and I just copy. This is almost like copying assignment from one another. So we face that a lot because sometimes you forget to write and all that. And there are some contractors who rigorously write all these things, but some consultants who never write and never sign on all these things. And then by the end of the day, they need to submit their progress report. They will beg the contractor, please give me your report. Can I have a look at the site daily record? Can I look at all your files, and then can I copy something here so that I can, write and give it to the client? So monthly progress report is a sharing, is a reporting systems that you have from the contractor to the designer compile and give it to the client finally. So all these are actually the monthly progress report is actually a report of progress at the end of every month. So client will see that. Nowadays, of course, we will probably use emails, and we also don't really print out all the copies. You probably get a PDF copy that you send to them via your Google Drive kind of thing, and everybody access your Google Drive. So we don't really send hard copy of the report anymore. But again, like I said, if you do the report, I would suggest you print a proper copy and keep a proper copy in your files, okay? So that you have proof, a hardcore proof, and that things doesn't get wiped out, okay? By virus and bugs and all that, okay? So are we clear so far, right? So then after that, these are the main tools. Site daily record or site daily, this is daily, not monthly. Daily record are actually something that is done by both the designers of the job and the contractor of the job, day in, day out, to monitor, okay? Monitor means that you record, okay? Lots of records that you compile, okay? And then after that, you need to convert that into monitoring systems. So then you will have a weekly file or a monthly file. We call it a manpower return list, okay, or machinery return list. So you compile all these things into different schedules so that you can have statistics, okay? You can have statistics like how many persons working in a day, how many hours of idling, and all that. So you have a total. So this one is all for controlling reasons, and machinery schedules as well. And you all put this in a summary. You have to put it in a summary in a very nice Excel worksheet. You don't really have to do this, but all the files that goes back, the site project coordinator or the site clerk will actually key in for you. Because all this doesn't make sense if you just keep a record, you see. So when you keep manpower return list, when at the end of the month, you know the exact amount of hours that has been put in, and then when you're paying your workers, does it tally, you see? And when you're paying the machinery guys, if it's based on days, your hours will tally. You have to tally it. If you don't tally it, you may be overpaying people, because whatever they claim you pay, whatever they pay you claim. So there's no way of monitoring or controlling. So quality forms that you have, checklists and rubrics and all that, there will be a copy that you fill up, and if there's any non-conformance, that means certain things are not well done or not done properly, you will also keep it in the file, and you have to keep a record of non-conformance and where does it come from and why does it happen. So time, cost, quality, all these are monitored through this weekly exercise. So in a way, normally we will do this, and then we will take a site daily record, and then you bring it back to the office, and you get your clerk to update it, or your site coordinator or project coordinator, whoever is in charge of the administration of the paperwork, to update all this, so that when the account side asks you, the claim comes in, and then you have to filter through the claims of the subcontractor, suppliers, and all that. Then you know exactly how much material has been delivered to site, all the invoices are there, all the delivery notes are there. You need to do the tallying before you pass this to the account section to issue payment for the month, you see. So this may sound like, wow, like I'm an engineer, do I have to do all these things? Basically you have a lot of help around normally. A contractor firm don't ask you to do all these things like, like nitty-gritty all the way. But, if you don't keep a record, people, the administrator or the site people, the office people, they cannot come up with the right record. At the end of the day, you say, what's that got to do with me, right? I mean, like, I'm an engineer, I get paid, the project is done, I move on to the next project. The company is nice to me, they'll give me a bonus, for finishing the project. But if you say it's your job as an engineer to make money for the company, okay? So if you don't save for the company, if you don't monitor the money carefully, if there's a lot of money overspent, final project account is making a loss. Who is going to be affected? You are going to be affected, okay? If the project account has a lot of profit, because you've done a good job in doing monitoring work, you don't overpay people, you don't have too much wastage, you don't have overly excess of things that you throw away, or things that you don't necessarily use but you order and all that. So you save a lot of money. The profit was a lot better than originally thought of. Like, let's say we expect 5% profit, and then you end up with 7 or 8% profit. You can ask for a bonus. This is a boss, I think I've done well. Do you think we can have some incentive? I'm pretty sure you don't even have to ask for it. Most bosses will actually give you some incentive. So your bonus do depend on every project making money at the end of the day. If all the projects are losing money, where is the company going to get money to pay you for your bonuses, and where to get you to pay your salary even later on? Okay, so they are all related. If you want to be a boss in the future, if you want to run a contractor company, and I'm sure every one of you will end up, being, you are the future generation. So 50%, 60% of you will run your own consultancy firm, you will run your own contracting firm, you will run your own subcontracting firm. So, or run your own supplier firm. You're not going to work for people for the rest of your life. Some people will, some people don't, you see. So there's 100 over of you. I would say about 50% of you will actually go back and run your family business, or go back to open your own consultancy firm and contractor firm. So all these nitty-gritty things, at the end of the day, if you don't start to learn all these things, and bear in mind that if you treat your boss money like your own money, one day you will not be a boss. Okay, so it's only people who think for your boss will think like a boss, and one day you will be a boss. Okay, so that is something that for you to dwell on. I believe that that you can do that. Okay, so you want to make money for the company, and then you want to get a good bonuses. Okay, so these are really important things for engineers to monitor on site. Okay, in the office and on site. So it's only the site information that you do proper conversion that will make sense. If it doesn't make sense, you know, you keep piles and piles of record, at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. So what is the purpose? You don't know. And then why do you need it? You don't know. So then what's the point? You know, you just like engaging a lot of people working on site who doesn't only know how to keep a record, but doesn't know how to control and keep put it into important information. So what else do you need to control? Like I said, line of communication, who you're supposed to address, what issue supposed to address to who and CC to who, what report must be given, what report must be prepared, site daily record, who is in charge, what issues to write to which person. Some issue you write to the client, you CC to the consultant. Some issue you write to the consultant and CC to the client. You have to be very careful of who you are addressing your letter and your memo and your email to, okay? That's line of communication. And who is in charge? Who is the project director? Who is the project engineer? Who is the site supervisor? Who can receive order? Who cannot give order? Who can take order and execute order and all that? Okay, so these are line of communications that you need to monitor. And methods of work, you need to put down, this is time to work on the PQP, talk about what sort of rubrics that you need to have, what sort of checklist, what sort of details, what sort of data, how sort of conversion, you know, of the project quality, the data that comes back, convert that into meaningful data, statistics for you to find out the problems and issues. Methods of work is like how you write down, you know, step 1, you do this, step 2, you do this, step 3, you do this. If you want to excavate a trench, what do you do? How deep and how you check and all that. So these are methods of work. Material use, okay, so you keep a record on all the material use. Coordination of work is something that is also very important because you have many people working on site. You've got people who deliver material, you've got people who drive the machine, you've got people who are from a subcontractor, water contractor, road contractor, drainage contractor, building contractor. You've got 5 different contractors working on site. And then they are all there, they are all saying that I have my drawing, I'm going to site, I need to work. You see, so what are you going to do? So as a project engineer or project manager, you need to control. Today, this month, this person, this group work. And then you take away your material, these people come in to work, and you don't block the way of other people. It's just like, do your drain. You know, you don't lay the pipe first. You do your drain first. And then when you're doing your drain, is the brickwork ongoing? Is the concrete work ongoing for the structure? Then you have to be very careful. Otherwise, when you're doing a drain, you may be blocking your outside of the house and people cannot access into the house to do the structural work. So get the coordination right. Okay, this is like your IDP. Get your coordination right with one another. Who is supposed to give who, what data to who, and by when is very important. Okay, so you have to remember everybody has their own part to do, just like IDP. Every contractor or subcontractor have their own parts to do. You know, so when they have their own parts to do, they are basically they read their own drawings. You know, they have their own set of documents. They don't know what is the drawings and whatever is on the other party side. So the person who are coordinating, the orchestra conductor is the project manager. So whether the flow of work is good or not good is very much highly dependent on the project manager and the team that is looking after the job. And site control also involved, okay? Site control also, like coordination will also involve site monthly meeting. So you have coordination meeting. And somebody needs to sit down in the coordination meeting to coordinate with the rest of the other people. And the other people also need to send in their team, like the representative, to coordinate with you as well. So we call it a site coordination meeting that needs to be minuted down every month, okay? So this one is to trash out any issues that you have with other contractor. Other contractors are spoiling your things, other contractors are in the way, why are you late, you know? All these funny things that is going on coordination. Okay, so you're also looking into construction contract administration. So this part, I will talk more about this in construction contract administration in 12, I think, yeah, in week 12. So we're in week 10 now, 11. So another week or so, we'll be talking about this, okay? Then these are the normal time, cost, quality, safety, controlling, records, everything. Changes, variation on site. If there's anything that you change or to make like something happen and you change, there is proper formal way of putting in the variation, because contractually you need to apply any changes that is required. And let's say if I'm a contractor, I suggest to change A to B, I will be responsible for that suggestion later. So even though the client side say, okay, I let you change, and how much is the changes, how much is the cost involved with the changes, whether it's a deduction variation or the additional variation, and once they approve that variation or changes, then the work is carried out, the changes are being carried out, and all these need to be documented carefully as well. Okay, because some of them will involve monetary concern, like whether there's going to be deduction in the fees or addition in the fees. Okay, so but you need to formally put in and write in. Okay, so how to control? Yeah, this is what we went through. Okay, so you keep all this database and then convert that into schedules and all that. So if you also read the notes that I've given you in, I email out to everybody. I mean, I email out to Atu. There's a set of notes that has CPM in it, and also site the control tools and all that. I think they're all part and parcel. You will also take a read at that site control, okay? Or that set, there is something on all these different tools and forms, and that you can design, that you can take a reference and design accordingly. Okay, so not necessary. So I need to share this file with you, site daily and return base. Okay. All right. So I think that's about it. Actually, as like I said, I'll finish the class early today. And any questions so far? I mean, yeah, it's quite brief. It's kind of summarize everything. Yeah. Any questions so far? Any question on project? Any questions on the notes, the materials? The most important thing is to get started, and the most important thing is to, get yourself reading all the notes and get yourself into project management as soon as possible. Because, like I said, there's a lot of materials involved, and if you don't get started at the end of the day, the revision will be very, very tough. And even though it's going to be an open book exam, it will still be very tough where you're going to find the information and all that. So you have to be very accustomed, very used to all the notes, and yeah, go through the recording, especially for people who are coming in and out, and some of them are physical, onlinely here, but physically actually not around. It can be quite tough for you later on. I mean, you're just going to hurt yourself, you can't hurt me, because I've done all I can to actually help to pass you. But if you don't help yourself, and then you do end up having to stay back for another year, and it can be a very serious thing, okay? You also have COVID as an excuse. I also have COVID as an excuse. I also can say that because of COVID, the students are not doing well, and therefore they should stay back for another year. Okay. Right. If there's no questions, I will move on to do the QR code. Okay. If you have any question, you can punch it. Any question on project, any question on the materials that we have gone through so far, please, by all means. The reason why I'm doing online face-to-face is for you to ask me, Okay, QR, group one. Okay, wait, how do I move this thing away? Group two. Okay, group three. Right. Group two. Oh, wait. I need to get this thing out of the way. I hate this. I hate this thing. That two bar thing. Oh, wait. Let me get the NRR right, huh? Yeah. Okay, NRR people. Well, NRR, oh, Merry Christmas already, is it? Nobody, Oh, boy. NRR, wow.
Doctor, I think you need to share the screen.
Sorry. Oh, so smart. I am. Okay, NRR. Right. Okay. Okay, now group one. This is group one. Anyone else missing? Any group one that needs to do the QR, the manual one? No? 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 No. Okay. Group two. Anybody needs to key in QR for group two? And anybody needs to key in the manual attendance for group two? Good. Okay, I think group three, there are some people who need manual attendance. So group three, anybody?
Yes, doctor. 63438.
Wait. Group three. Group three, manual attendance. Who? Siapa? 63338, is it? Huh?
Danish Fitri. 63438.
63438. Danish, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, doctor.
And I think just now.
63338.
Okay, I think Ahmad was the one who asked me to do the QR just now. Let me see. Let me check the chat. Amir. Okay, right. Anybody from group three need some more manual attendance? Group two, Alvin, you've already keyed in, Alvin? Okay, the person who's asking about this project management theory is when you write the different part of your report, you can include some form of theory, meaning that production rate, the calculation is how, that is theory already, okay? You need to get production rate from where, those are theories already. And from production rate, you need to calculate using what formula to become duration, those are theories. Costing S-curve, the steps of doing S-curve, those are all theories, okay? How to monitor, those are theories as well. So you need to add in a bit of theories, okay? You need manual attendance. Alvin, are you? How come I don't hear from you? Which group are you?
Doctor, I'm in group 2.
You're in group 2. Oh, okay, group 2. Wait. Group 2, group 2. Two. Alvin, huh? Okay. Anyone else need manual?
Thank you, Doctor.
No problem. Okay. Nobody else needs manual? Okay. Yes, Richard, yes, we are encouraged to look into the methods of procurement and pros and cons. Just learn about for and all that. Contractual model, tendering model, more on procurement method, because I don't plan to give you a very specific set of notes on procurement models, pros and cons. Contract model, yes, tender model, read up on that, but you don't really have to do a summary or anything like that, okay? I mean, these are no marks. I mean, I'm not giving you any marks, but I think you should just go through that, okay? But if you would like to once you've done it and you'd like to share it with us, I'm more than happy to take a look at it. And you can actually include that in the writing also for your IDP later as well, yeah. Like the delivery, the procurement delivery method, the contract model that you selected, tendering model that you selected, you can write that in your IDP. So it's no harm of doing some research now, okay? Right. Stop sharing. Any other questions? If not, then we will Merry Christmas to everybody. And you can leave, okay? If there's some more questions, you can just type it in. I'll still be around. I won't close the meeting yet. So those people who are not, who wants to leave, you can, yes. So have a good holiday. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you on Tuesday next week, okay? Take care. And stay safe, okay? Don't go running around partying too much, huh?
Thank you, Doctor. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. I should have gotten you
Merry
all.
Christmas, Doctor.
Merry Christmas. I should have gotten you all to wear
Merry
your
Christmas,
Christmas
Doctor.
gear. Merry Christmas. Take care, huh?
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Enjoy yourself. Don't get too drunk.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, take care, everybody. Want to go eat Irian Mary? Irian Mary. It's a 我还给了我个爸爸了，那就帮忙对家土了。